7, 6, 11, 5, 4, 17, 32 the day before.
Hi, I'm back. Sorry that it's been a bit. I found out that Mortem left. I didn't know they could leave, but they did. So I wasn't honestly sure if this connection was going to hold, but it seems to be holding stronger than ever while they're gone, so I guess that's a good thing, right? They didn't exactly tell me what to do before they left regarding the whole saving my world stuff. And since I've got almost no direction of what they wanted me to do, why don't I just pick a direction? And I thought, well, what better direction to go in than the simple one of talking about the world I come from? After all, it is dying, so what better to talk about than the place I call home? So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a professor. If I was teaching you guys, I'm almost certain you'd all fail just from my lack of experience and poor wording. But we're gonna work with what we got, which is me. So to start, let's talk about the broader part of the world I come from. For the sake of your own language barrier things, we're just gonna call it Otherworld, since it's another world tied to your own. See what I did there? Yeah. Anyways, so Otherworld is very different from the world you know. For instance, your world is a planet. It is a circular rock, more or less, with all sorts of environments on it, and plants and water and all the good stuff. And you exist in a solar system that orbits around the sun. Where I come from is very different. We don't have a solar system the way you do. We're not on a planet that orbits a sun. We are a plane of existence. We are a flat surface of land and sea that just sort of all exists on a disk, if you will, that pretty much has the sun and moon and the stars orbit around that plane of existence. In a way, we are the center of our own universe. Get it? Right. Bad joke. Anyways, needless to say, the best way I could ever describe our world is it's kind of like when you look at one of those continuous motion mechanisms, and you always have that ball or that centerpiece that never moves while everything else is rotating around it. We're that piece that never moves, and everything else is moving around us. In a way, that's why we're so suspended from your world, where on your planet you have seasons and changes due to the motion of your planet rotating around the sun. Ours is tied to the gods that sort of command it all, especially Pantheon and Squalic. They are the two most important gods, at least when it comes to the changes of the seasons. I should have specified that. The most important god is but we'll get to gods at a later date. Let's just put it this way. Your world relies on science and astrology and all these really cool things. Ours is entirely hinged on the functionality of the world created by the beings that became before it, which is why we're the center of the universe. Gods love being the center of their own universe, so of course they're gonna make a whole world tied to that. And like I mentioned, our world is on a disk. It's flat, which means there is an end to the world. It's very circular because, you know, disk, but there is an end. There have been sailors who have gone to the edge of the world to sail off of it and plummet to their death. At least we have to assume they're dead because they don't come back. And my personal theory is they're probably going to the void because everything goes to the void, and considering what I've witnessed, yeah, that would add up real fast. Anyways, so, I don't know why they would want to do that. I guess Suicide Pact and Curiosity did kill the cat, but, yeah, some idiots do it. Well, I guess I shouldn't call them idiots. I mean, I'm sure they had their reasoning for thinking that they could sail to the end of the world and discover something that previously was not known, but I don't know. It seems kind of reckless. In my opinion, the best way to figure out what might happen to us when we walk through the end of the world is to go to the one piece of land that actually does lead to the end of the world. It's on a little island called Galaxis, and it literally backs up to one of the edges of the plane. You can walk through it and disappear. In fact, a lot of people believe that that might be how to get to Torlien, the literal home of the gods. I really doubt that part, but hey, it is a belief, if you will. I have seen it, if you can't believe that. Back before I ended up here, when I was trying to help research why the world was falling apart, we went to the edge of the world in hopes that either we would learn something new, or if the myth was true, we'd find the gods and ask them to help. But nothing really yielded from the adventure. All we found was that if you start walking towards the edge, the world begins to grow darker. Day can turn to dusk before it turns to almost night, and then you swear that you're just enveloped into blackness, except you can turn around and see in the distance the people you were with. And it really was at that point, it was either turn around and head back or keep walking and maybe never come back out. I decided to go back. I didn't want to die. I still don't want to die. But right before I turned around, it almost felt like death was trying to coax me in, which is weird because there is no god of death, so not sure what I felt. Maybe it was just the void itself trying to consume something else. Anyways, in my opinion, that is the best way to figure out what the end of the world might look like. What the? Who's? No. No, you're not. You shouldn't be here. You know what? I'm done talking about this. Let's focus on something else. Back to the rest of the world. So the continents are really only split up into two pieces. There's the West continent, and then there's the East continent, which kind of cover most of the plains, with up in the north being the Forbidden Pass that acts as a natural walkway between the two, though I would call it the most dangerous walkway possible, but it is there. There are also the islands, like I mentioned, Galaxis, as well as a few others, and that pretty much covers the land masses of Otherworld, as well as the basic structure of the world. So I think with that said, I feel like I've covered a decently broad spectrum of what makes up this place that I called home. So I think next time what I'll do is we'll break out the map and break down a bunch of the other locations. I'll start talking about the cities and the continents and the various environments that those have. It's gonna be a great time, and I will be hopefully very informative without being super boring. So until then, I'm gonna go find some books on the topics that we need to cover, and I will talk to you guys soon, hopefully. Alright, bye!
If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boom, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the wall.